Testing.
Okay, today is Thursday, May 7th, 2026, a little after 6:01. Calling the meeting of the Planning Commission to order. Roll call.
Blaine Belter here.
Dan Vanas.
Jessica Bird is excused.
Brenda Forrest.
Kim Puts.
Don Kern. Okay, we'll stand and have pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is public comment. On agenda items, 2 minutes per person, 14 minutes a topic. Anybody online? Hearing none, I'm gonna close public comment. Next item on the agenda is minutes from April 2nd, 2026, regular meeting. What's the pleasure of this commission?
Make a motion to approve Thursday, April 2nd, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
A motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, nay. That motion is carried. The next item on the agenda is something I requested to be put on for the planning commission's information is a building inspector's report. This is showing the month of March. No, I had April's. I don't know why the commission didn't get April's. No, finance meeting.
Being we don't know what we're looking at anyway, this could be a trial run. Just don't
Yeah.
know.
It totally is. It's something that I just asked that, so that the commission knows kind of what's happening in the area. And who has requested building permits and where they're at. And what they're looking for and how much fees have been proposed. I have the one for and I don't know why it's in here, but, I have the one for April too. That was provided to me, at the, finance meeting, but. If you guys have any questions about this, you know, I mean, it's, or wanna see something different, but this is what's submitted on a monthly basis. I could circulate this one around too, if you want copies of that. That's the April Planning Commission. I'm sorry, the April,
Why is this of interest to us?
it's more of an information piece. It's not really of interest as a planning commission, you know, to see what you kind of have going on around the area and be able to know is, well, we got this development going over here. By the way, so-and-so has requested to put a house right there.
So just to open our eyes to activity that's happening in the.
Exactly. It's more of a point of information, that's all.
Beautiful.
I asked for it because I think the planning commission should have as much information as they have in order to make their decisions on stuff.
On the bottom right, it says inspection agency fees, 10 driveway permits, I'm assuming it's supposed to say. 10 seal at $40, what's seal? Lower rate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay.
I'll have to ask that.
Okay, like I said, first time we're seeing it, so we'll have,
Yep, so your question is, what is this, the seal,
yeah,
10 seal, okay,
10 seal at $40.
okay,
My assumption is if it's under driveway, it's sealing your driveway, but I've never gotten a permit for doing mine.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
I'm thinking what that is, but don't quote me on it, I'm thinking, I'll just ask the question. I'm not gonna, try to think of what this is, so let me find out what that is and we'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Good question. New business, discussion possible recommendation, review of CUP 2025-1, Jason Reed, firearms customizing, engraving, gunsmithing, 523 Jackson Circle. Looks like Jessica just kind of went back and to review it. Doesn't look like anything's changed.
I think, the plan commission put a 1-year review on it to
Right.
make sure there wasn't any.
Yeah, I think we
issue.
discussed that, yeah,
Yep.
one year review and we could extend it from there if there's no issues and decide in a year.
And has anybody brought up one item about it ever for the year?
No.
Excellent. And it does get renewed year to year or longer if we think it's worthy.
Well, so I guess we could decide now if we want to approve it for longer.
That, yeah. So what's the pleasure of the committee? Do you wanna?
Should we double it?
I don't know. My opinion is you can go 5 years. I mean, if we've got a complaint, we'll deal with it like any other. You,
Just for
what do you
your
think, Bob?
information, on a CUP, you know, it's good to have something that's maybe controversial. This was not really controversial after it was understood, but you have the right to, address a CUP at any time. You know, if you say, go ahead, we're not gonna bring this back for special review again, you do hold the right if there's now complaints of
Oh.
parking or noise or.
So we put a 50-year on this. It still has the same teeth as if it's year to year.
Yes.
Okay.
And yet we don't, with the exception of something like this, it's just a blanket certificate. But like Bob says, we can review it, we can revoke it
Anytime we want.
anytime we want.
Can we
Well,
make a motion on it then?
I think it says in here, it says conditions set forth by the village, then you have your conditions set forth, but it says. And this is just my take on it, it says village must be notified in writing of any changes within 30 days, but it says the village has the right to relinquish the conditional use permit if the following conditions are met.
Right.
So if they step outside these, so I guess the way I read it is if this commission doesn't want to put any additional conditions on this and wants to just let it roll, then you just let it roll, and if these aren't met, then you can bring it back up for review.
But we like to, what we were talking about, can we let it roll for 5 years so we don't have to see it a year from now?
I don't know, why can't we just put it, just like anybody else's conditional use permit, just leave it permanent.
That, I think that's what Bob was
Okay.
saying, is that unless you want to change any of these items here, I think you can just let it roll and then, unless you, in other words, you want to say, you know what? You can't store firearms unless they're in a fireproof lockable, whatever
Yep.
container,
But-
you know?
I don't think the forever thing is a good idea because we have lost track of so many CUPs that we have not looked into, and the business doesn't even exist anymore, but a different business
We
does.
we can look, we can set ourselves a timeline and do, you know.
Yeah, but,
We started doing that a year and a half ago and then we quit
yeah,
going through them.
right.
How long has Jason had this?
One year.
Since May of 20, or May 20 of last year.
This is.
Yeah, this is our 1 year, this is our 1 year review.
Yeah.
Okay,
And he does engraving mostly, is what I understand. I don't have notes in front of me, but it's customizing. It's not really gunsmithing or anything extravagant like that, which I think was at first understood that there was gonna be, you know, an arsenal of weapons downstairs and there was, and he articulated that very well, that no, it's simply like, I maybe have one customer a week and there's not gonna be a heavy traffic generation out of this.
This isn't a huge business.
No.
This isn't.
It's like it's a hobby.
But he just had to have a permit or slash something to
Because
do.
he's
Do you wanna put a time frame on it?
I don't
think
like
we
it forever. I don't like it forever.
But we
No, I
can,
think we
we
should
need to
set
review every
something.
one of them
for a
every
couple of
5 to 10
reasons.
years. And we started that.
We started it, but then we quit.
Yeah.
And so I don't trust
Out
that
of
we.
sight, out of mind, and then
Different,
something
different
comes
presidents,
up.
different
we get a
members.
complaint and
So I think we should let it keep coming back.
Jason Reed, and why does he have this permit? So I would be in favor of, for starters, 5 year.
Mhm. I like 5.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
That's the second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the CUP for a review in 2030.
Acceptable.
Any discussion? Hearing none, go ahead.
This isn't related to this one, but how many CUPs are there in the file?
I had,
Are we
you know what?
talking 500 or 8?
No,
I think
There's-
less than 100.
there's less than 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe less than 20 that are
There's less than
appropriate, but there's,
I
active.
was gonna say like.
She's been going through a lot of them and if they're not, so.
oh, she has been.
Yes, we've been working that, you know, and Jessica's been working on
We
it.
quit doing it a year and a half ago, thinking, and I've been thinking that they're just still sitting there in a
Right.
pile. We got.
Right.
Here's what I would say. Without over commenting on it, we got
Yeah, sorry.
a motion on the floor here. Let's deal with that motion, but we can get that information back out to you for your review.
Perfect.
All right?
You
So
just need that.
motion's on the floor to review the CUP in 2030. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
I
Aye. All opposed, nay.
Who made the motion in the second?
did.
He made the motion.
I made the motion.
Lane seconded, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is discussion possible recommendation, site plan view Gerard Development, Paul Gerard. A 2-story 40-unit elderly housing facility. PID is 181-4057-20-445 and 181-4057-20-448. This is a significant change from what you originally viewed for that location.
And Scott from ACA, that's the developer's engineer, is on if any questions come up for him, or if Scott has anything to elaborate on the plans. He's with us.
Is it?
on that.
Seems awful fancy for our town.
I think it looks awesome.
I
It's
know.
really
I
good.
only have one question. That is, what's the significance of, other than cost, of putting an elevator on one farther end of this facility and making everybody go all the way to the far end, versus either putting it in the middle and or putting a second elevator in for the second floor access?
Well, the elevators are expensive. I do know that.
They certainly, that's why I asked in the middle,
Yeah.
you know, versus
Maybe
all the way on one end.
more people to use the stairs.
So for this evening, we're looking at the site, not really the interior, so you'll have the opportunity to adjust some interior functioning, so anything really outside of the building,
So So you're saying we're just looking at the exterior on this?
Yep, but I
Keep
can
that in
note,
mind.
I
for
can note
my-
that comment.
My notes on that.
Did we get an answer on the pickleball courts, Bob, if it's going to be
No,
used by,
no,
Bob, they're talking about pickleball courts. If they're only for,
To the right.
Yeah.
only for residents, you put them right up front. You know, people come in and use them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they,
Scott, do you have any comments? I know you got the memo from Chuck Schwartz from MSA.
Yeah, so my name is Scott with AEC, here out of Eau Claire. And yeah, I did speak with that. I mean, it really depends on what you guys have a preference on. I mean, I think if you guys require something that it's only going to be for, their residents, then, we can implement some type of, chain link fencing around that, around those pickleball courts if needed. I think we're open to others using it, but I can see how that kind of causes issues too. You don't want to have a whole bunch of people on a private site type of thing either.
And a chain link fence is pretty key anyway, just to keep the ball from traveling too far off.
Yeah, especially up front. I think a chain link fence would be a good idea no matter what. You're right, for sure.
Maybe a chain link fence and a sign on the fence that just states that it's for residents only,
yeah,
would probably solve 95% of it.
Yeah, I would bet. Bob, you've been involved in this quite a bit, right?
Mhm.
Everything flows well and mixes well and
Yeah, we talked quite a bit. We talked about, having the access for the subterranean parking coming up the side. That was explained to me why they were not gonna do that. And, I was just looking for some cost savings. Primarily for, like snow removal, there's less, but the way that parking was architected that way, so he was fine. He goes, I'm fine with that. If you're okay with it, I says, that doesn't bother me. I'm perfectly okay
all right.
with that.
Is that wide enough down there at the bottom for a turnaround or anything like that? If we needed to get a,
emergency.
emergency vehicle down there? On the backside, for any reason?
Yeah, it's not, but what I was kind of thinking in that sense was, there's the drive goes kind of down the property line there. We're showing kind of a future 20 unit potential, there to the east. So what I was thinking is maybe just having some type of T there at basically the bottom. So that would serve, potentially the future 20 unit apartment while also serving as a turnaround, and get the traffic down to the lower level that we want there.
So would that be developed out then on this one and put in, and then you can actually future it into your building once it's been, approved?
That would be correct. Yeah, we would end up kind of constructing it now if that's, what's needed. I don't necessarily want to have a big bulb down there, right? And I don't think anybody does, to have a big bulb turnaround, some type of T that's going to work for this for the purpose of this site and for something in the future would be, the most beneficial on both ends.
Are you talking about accessing the subterranean parking, like getting into
Yeah,
there?
if there was any reason that, that emergency vehicle had to get down on the bottom side for any reason whatsoever, car fire, whatever, you gotta be able to get out of there. And there's no real way they'd have to back all the way back up, or there's no way for them to turn around. He's saying to put a T into that future. So at least they can back up into there and then back up and pull out.
Right. They don't have to back all the way out to the road necessarily, but they can, and there's certain distances where a turnaround is not necessarily required either. So putting that T at the bottom would kind of suffice for the distances and pretty positive. So.
I would assume, yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. If that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Mhm. You can see where the future is there to the east,
Yep.
and that would just be, so that'll be finished off with this, where that D is. That would be finished paved bituminous, or, and I'm assuming that's what we're putting in here, bituminous? Blacktop?
That is correct. Yep.
Where's garbage pickup?
Garbage pickup is going to be tentatively, I believe, within the lower level. So that garbage, and again, that turnaround is kind of dual purpose there. So that garbage is going to be, let me see here.
If you have garbage trucks going around there, you probably need to have some kind of way that they can back straight up like where F is. And then back, you ain't gonna make them back all the way around the corner there, are you?
No, and I think I might be mistaken on that. It looks like trash is on the main level floor plan, off to the east. Let's see here. I'm not as well versed on the interior as I am on the exterior, if you can imagine. Yeah, so actually trash is kind of on the east side of the building there. There's kind of a drive up to that on the far east side.
Sure, but is that,
It's very small, and we're gonna kind of figure out what that size is for that and figure out how we get kind of an access and a garbage truck to that location yet.
that's gotta be critical, cause you gotta
Yep.
have it. Where-
Yeah, right here.
Mhm. Right there by the garage door.
Mhm.
Yep.
Cause it does look small, and is that say 8 foot? That's pretty narrow turnaround there for a big, one of Olson's garbage trucks.
Yeah, and we got, there's still obviously some a little bit of details to work out.
Sure.
But if those are full, just, side loads type of thing, it might be coming out that, rolling them out there, kind of one by one. If it's a, front load pickup, then we're gonna have to figure out where that sits yet and kind of, propose a turnaround and make sure that all works. And we can, use our turning templates and on
Sure.
the computer as well to verify all that.
So on his face, we're looking at turnaround, fencing on the pickleball courts, and emergency vehicle T at the end of the subterranean path. Right?
Correct. Yep. And I guess my goal would be to make a turnaround that works for essentially emergency services and for the trash if that's possible. Try and use a dual purpose type of thing.
Yep.
Save on costs in all directions. So
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the site plan for Gerard Development. 2-story 40-unit elderly housing facility.
I'll second. What, do you want to put, what they follow
With
it?
the, with what your
Items to be addressed.
items to be addressed that you just went through.
All right. Motion made, seconded to approve the site plan with the issue of the fencing around the pickleball courts with notation of private area and turnarounds for emergency vehicles and garbage. Right?
Right.
Yep.
Sanitation. Yep.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, seconded to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Motion carried. I'll get answers to that question on next. Okay,
That's all good for you.
thank you for coming out, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you, you too.
thank you.
It's not.